Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to Armored Warfare. So, as you can see, this is a tier 10 game and we're in the Challenger 2 ATDU. Now, this is going to be a bit of a rarity for me at the moment because I am not a huge fan of tier 10 gameplay at all. I kind of dislike the fact that you have to aim for tiny little pieces of armor which people can just wiggle a tiny bit and then your shot will do nothing. Now, some of the vehicles are worse than others, but usually what happens in tier 10 matches is one of two things. You either have no chance of hitting anybody at range, so you have to go close in and then hit their tiny little weak spots and they hit yours and it's a trade like that. Or secondly, for me, my experience is I get flanked by 3 tanks in the same platoon and then I die instantly. This game was a little bit different, so that's why you're seeing it. First shot into the Leopard 2A7140 for a nice 715 damage. Another shot there, 812 damage into the XM1A3. My voice is going slightly. Next shot, however, misses completely, or rather it hits the tank, not the tank, it rather hits a vehicle in front of the tank and then the shell loses all penetration and doesn't hit the tank on the other side. Now, the Challenger 2 ATDU basically is a Challenger 2 with a better gun on it, although the gun is still as bad, well, it's still one of the worst guns at tier 10. With regards to penetration and damage, it's only got 730 penetration, and additionally around 715 damage on average. Things like our martyrs there will penetrate you very easily if they're closer, and they'll hit you for 1000 damage per shot in some circumstances, or 700 damage there from the Leopard. I decided I need to fall back. As you can see, if you look at the map, there's a horrendous amount of enemy force, or horrendous enemy force coming this way. Can't hit this Leopard when he's bouncing up and down like that, and he's hiding his weak spot, which is mounted on the, well, it's located on the left side of the tank as you look at it. Weaknesses of the Challenger 2 ATDU on the other hand are, well, there are 3 weaknesses I know of. The driver's hatch, the bit slightly below the driver's hatch which is flat, and also the cupola. Now, there is one other tiny weak spot, which I've been penetrated for from about 500 meters away for full damage, which, you know, really peed me off. From T14 on Martyrs, no less. And yeah, that really annoyed me. Managed to get a shot there through the side of the Leopard. The Leopard's side armor is pretty bad. But yeah, that weak spot is on the top of the turret on the left as you're playing it, and on the right as you're playing against it. You can see where that little machine gun mount is, it's around there. Failing to penetrate our tier 9 predecessor there. I was trying to aim slightly lower, as you can see it goes green. And there it is, we managed to knock out one of his crew members, probably the driver. He tries to turn and run, but in a Challenger you can't really do that. Try and hit the side armor of the T14. T14 hits us in the cupola, hardly even aims even. And yeah, now I need to pull back even more. Side of the Leopard again is exposed. You can't angle very much in those Leopards, and if you do you're going to get smacked for a horrendous amount of damage, 700 as a minimum at this tier. 6 shots into enemy vehicles and we've done 4400 damage. Need to keep backing up though with our front angled at all time. Well, not angled. Not over angled rather. Frontally angled towards the enemy. Trying to look for a weakness on that T14. Managed to penetrate another T14 who was adjusting his angle and was quite unlucky that my shell penetrated. The reload time of this ATDU is 8.49 seconds. This does not have any retrofits, and I believe a tier 2 crew. Side of an M1A2, not a problem at all. M1A M1 and M1A2 and the M1 at tier 7 all have very, very poor side armor. Only the XM1A3 with its armor upgrade, where it has the strange looking ERA, is actually quite good. Or rather, it's adequate. Failing to hit a target there. I really quite dislike how you can shoot through certain objects and from one direction, and if you are being hit from that direction and you want to return fire, you just can't. There are certain objects on this map, Roughneck in particular, where you can't do that, and that is quite frustrating. Kind of worried about that 2A7 and worried about blocking this Thunderbolt, who relies on his speed to actually do anything in this game, as he is tier 9 with no armor. But it would be the same for tier 9 maximum matchmaking as well. We can see him through there because we've got two little eyes above those vehicles, but we can't get any hits. He's angling this way. Now he isn't. And the shot did not go anywhere near where I aimed it. And that is a weird glitch, me pushing through that like that. I was quite lucky to actually hit that weakness and penetrate though. Normally it just bounces for me anyway. Even if it's green, it will just bounce. Because somebody just needs to angle it by about a centimetre and then suddenly it's 2000mm thick. I don't know. I'm exaggerating. Perhaps it's just me and a learn to play issue, but tier 10 games are not fun for the most part for me. Unless you're in a platoon of good players that belong to, say, RSOP or, I don't know, other people as well. And that's the final shot of the match. So, Challenger ATDU, Challenger 2 ATDU rather, it's pretty solid, but it's very immobile, so as soon as you get the side and rear of it, it's pretty much dead, even though it has quite a lot of hit points. Mine doesn't, it only has 3,500 without any retrofits, but it does, like the Challenger 1, the Challenger 2, and the Challenger 1 Falcon, the premium tier 8, which I haven't really had a great amount of success in, to be honest. They have two lots of armor retrofits. So we actually came top on the team there with a blind shot or 2, 7,000 damage. Not as much damage as the armor on the enemy team, but there it is. Maybe you've had a better experience in tier 10 than I have, but I think when people were first playing it, it was more interesting and enjoyable for me, but recently I've just struggled at tiers 8, 9 and 10. People have just been, I don't know, not lucky. People know what they're doing, but it is kind of unbearable at times to play at that tier, so I normally play at tier 7 and below. Maybe when they make some more tweaks and remove or change this pixel hunting feature, I'll be playing more high tier matches. Of course, the tier 10s are very good in PvE. Most of the vehicles in the game are very good in PvE. But there we go. I could ramble on, but I'm going to leave it there. So, I hope you enjoyed this gameplay, and as always, I've been Geogen, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.